Hey everybody, welcome to TIW Podcast. I'm Eric, and today I watched WWE NXT UK episode 37 and NXT episode 499. Both aired on April 3rd, 2019. This is NXT before Mania, or maybe I call it NXT before TakeOver, because in just 2 nights, it will be NXT TakeOver New York, and I am super excited for that. I will talk about my predictions at the end of this episode. So really just a quick summary of all of the matches and segments that went down. Not all of them. I didn't mention some of the stuff that happened, especially on NXT. There's a lot of like promo video, highlight packages, promo packages, and stuff like that I didn't write down. But it's a pretty good episode to get hyped for this Friday. By the way, before I get into all of that, the WWE Performance Center YouTube channel posted part 1 of 2 of Tommaso Ciampa reflecting on his injury and stuff like that. And it is a really good video. Like, it had my eyes wet quite a bit. I wasn't exactly crying, but it did elicit tears. It is like so heartbreaking at points, but also like it's a really good video. It's not just about his injury, but talking about his family life and all that kind of thing as well, and a lot of the stuff that he's gone through to this point. So I recommend going to check it out. It'll give you like a whole different perspective on Tommaso Ciampa, and I'm gonna keep an eye out for part 2 of that. I don't know when that's gonna come out, but if it's as good as part 1, I'm gonna watch it as soon as I see it pop up on YouTube, even if I'm in the middle of doing something else. So yeah, go check that out. That's probably more that I'm going to say more about that. I already said more about that than I'm going to say about anything else in these 2 episodes. But we open up NXT UK with Marcel Barthel and Fabian Eichner versus Kenny Williams and Amir Jordan. They've been trading words with each other lately because of the silly gym workout video that they made a couple of weeks ago. I think that was like 2 weeks ago. But amazingly, Eichner and Bartel, they did their whole toss their opponent to the other one into a power slam thing, but Kenny Williams fought his way out of that and rolled up Eichner for the win. A really shocking victory, and the desperation from Marcel when that happened, he was like, yeah, we just freaking nailed this thing. And I mean, he doesn't talk like that, but that kind of attitude, yeah, we just nailed this thing. He is casually getting back out of the ring to the apron, and then he realizes what just happened, and he's like, oh no, and tries to get over to break up the pin, but it's too late. Kenny Williams gets the win for him and Jordan, and yeah, we'll see who it goes from there. Does that mean Kenny and Amir are next in line for an NXT UK Tag Team Championship match? Maybe. I think they kind of addressed that later on when Gibson and Drake came out, but I don't remember exactly what they said. There's all kinds of stuff. Gibson is injured. He's not cleared to wrestle at this moment, so that's a little bit of a bummer. They tweeted something. It was Gibson. Yeah, he tweeted a bunch of them at I don't know where they were, but there's like a group of 5 of them, and his caption was, oh, go ahead, we'll all get them, you go first. And in the picture it's like him, Tony Storm, James Drake, the Kiwi Buzzsaw, crap, what's his name, Travis Banks, and who else is in there? There's somebody else in the picture with them. But James Drake has this face paint on. It's like this purple and white face paint. And I responded, I didn't know James was a fan of Grape Ape, with a picture of the Hanna-Barbera cartoon, and I was glad that he liked that tweet. James Drake liked the tweet. So many of my tweets are for a extremely targeted audience of like one person or two people sometimes, and it's been pretty successful to get to that target audience and get put a smile on their face, I guess. I'm assuming, maybe. But anyway, up next after that, we had a backstage bit with Jordan Devlin confronting Sid Scala, or Squid Scala, as Nigel accidentally said, or maybe just Vic misheard him. But he like shoves the microphone into Sid's face during that segment. I thought it was kind of fun. Into his nose. Like not even into his mouth, like right up in his nose. It was pretty funny. Kind of and mean. That's rude. Don't do that. We had Isla Dawn versus Kaylee Ray. Kaylee Ray won that match. She looked pretty mean. Like very, very mean. I think in next week or the week after that, we're getting Piper Niven, her debut match. That's pretty exciting. During an interview with Toni Storm, Jinny attacks and just totally takes her out. We'll get them fighting each other next week. I'm excited to see what happens there. I'm guessing that Toni Storm will win, but because Jinny really only got the jump on her because she snuck attack her during an interview. If she was expecting it, then I think Toni would have been able to fend her off. But then we had the Gibson and Drake segment, and then a fine match between Trent Seven and Joe Kofi. Joe Kofi ended up winning this match at this long fought match with a Boston Crab, I think, or is it like a variation of that? But yeah, it was a good one. I don't think Trent Seven has had tapped out before. I mean, Tyler Bate threw in the towel for him way back when. When was that? Shortly after the UK festival, the UK tournament. When they lost, they lost it was when they lost the tag team championships in NXT. But yeah, it's a pretty good match. Check it out. Then over on NXT, we had the War Raiders destroy a couple of fellas, poor guys, and then they had a message to deliver to their opponents at TakeOver. Don't listen, just watch, they say. Bring out the next team. So then the War Raiders defeat Adrian Youd and Cesar Bononi. They put up a little bit more of a fight as those other fellows do, but it's still a pretty dominant showing. We have Vanessa and Aaliyah bother Candice outside as she's getting an interview. And so Candice says, well, I'm going to earn my opportunity at the NXT Women's Championship. So I challenge you, Aaliyah. I'm going to beat you up next week. And so that means that is one of the two matches that will be taped this Friday before TakeOver. So I'm excited to see a Candice LeRae match. That'll be great. I mean, Aaliyah's been pretty good lately. And I'm sure Vanessa Bourne will be there at ringside. Maybe there'll be some funny business going on. And perhaps a friend of Candice will come to help out if that does go south as far as a 2-on-1 situation goes. And then we had Oney Lorcan with Danny Burch at his side versus Jackson Ryker with the Forgotten Sons at his side. And unfortunately, Jackson Ryker got the win. And I will probably forget that ever happened. And then our main event, Kairi Sane versus Bianca Belair. I believe Bianca won via disqualification because Shayna Baszler came out and attacked her first. I think she's the one who was attacked first. And so then it devolves into a brawl. The rest of the women's locker room comes out. It's a big old massive brawl. Ending with Io taking out Bianca and getting a huge moonsault into a bunch of them. And yeah, it was a kind of a fun, rowdy way to end the night going into NXT TakeOver. So let's talk my predictions. Who I hope wins. This is I'm just gonna say who I want to win each of these matches, not who I think is actually going to win. There's a difference there because you can just look at it like, oh, what are they going to do move forward, all that kind of thing. That's the one difference between. That's one of the big differences between like basketball or baseball or something like that. Is your predictions are based on more. I guess it's not that different. It's both of them can have the difference of the team you want to win, but the team that you think will win because of other factors. That even though you don't want them to win. In a lot of other sports, it's they have a really strong defense, and the team that I'm rooting for, they don't have the best offense. They're mostly a defensive team, and the other team is a better offense. So I'm going to root for my team, but on paper, the other team is going to win. Whereas in professional wrestling, it's like, I want this person to win. I really like this person. But, all this stuff that's going on backstage, what is the story going to be going forward and all that kind of thing, that like seeps into the prediction of what you might want or think or expect is going to happen. So it's not completely different, but it is different in a way that removes it a little bit from being about like skill and stuff like that. But anyway, okay, so let's talk about these predictions. What I want, who I'm rooting for in each of these matches. I'll start out with the women's match. We have Io Shirai, Kairi Sane, Shayna Baszler, the champion, and Bianca Belair. I don't know. All of these matches, I actually don't mind. I'll be happy with whoever wins each of these matches, and not in like what is the word? Apathetic way, but in a I like all these people way. And I'm excited for all of them to be having these matches. So in this one, I think I'm rooting for, man, it's tough. It's tough. Io. I'm going to root for Io because Kairi Sane has already won the championship. Shayna Baszler is the current champion. She doesn't need to be a champion anymore. And it's like I won't be upset not seeing her as champion because we've already seen her as champion. That's what I mean. And Bianca Belair, I think she'll win it eventually. So I think it's Io's time. Io will demolish the others. And it might come down to her having to pin her best friend to do it. And maybe we'll get a rivalry between those two for a while. That would be pretty cool. I don't think Kairi would be too happy about getting pinned by her friend. And there I go, bringing into what's the future story possibilities for this going on. I just want Io to win, and Kairi. I want Kairi to win also, and I kind of want Shayna to win a little bit. The biggest factor with this is whoever wins, I'm going to be able to meet the next night, and I haven't met any of those four yet, so I'd be pretty happy with being able to meet any of them and get a picture with them. It would be cool. The other person that I'll get to meet is whoever wins the NXT championship between Adam Cole and Johnny Gargano. Oh man, another tough one. I want both of them to win. I'll be happy with either one. And man, I'm rooting for Adam Cole. That's it. I'm rooting for Adam Cole. I'm sticking with that. And it's a 50-50 chance they'll be right, I guess. Well, technically, yeah. The NXT Tag Team Championships. This match between Aleister Black and Ricochet versus the War Raiders. It would be really awesome for Aleister Black and Ricochet to win. And actually the War Raiders, their appearance this week it kind of made me not like them as much. Like it seemed kind of like mean, rude. I don't know. So I kind of don't want them to win. But if they do win, I think that's fine. I won't be mad that they won. But I'm rooting for Al and Rick. Al and Rick's mufflers, come on down. So 50% if you mention this commercial. Then we have the North all championship matches. I think this is the first time that every single match is a championship match. Unless they squeeze another one in there. Sometimes they do that. They squeeze one in. The North American Championship match. Velveteen Dream versus Matt Riddle. Velveteen Dream defending the championship, of course. I'm rooting for Matt Riddle. I think he'll be an awesome North American champion. And, I don't think he's been defeated one-on-one yet. And, but it's gonna be a good match. I think it's gonna be a good one. And if Velveteen Dream is able to defeat Matt Riddle, that is a huge feather to add to his already very featherful hat. I assume he has a really featherful hat. I think I've seen him wearing a hat with feathers in it. But that would be another really nice feather in a hat. A Crocs wearing feather in this hat. And the last one is Walter challenging for Pete Dunne's WWE United Kingdom Championship. I'm rooting for Pete Dunne. I think it would be just awesome if he actually does just have this championship forever. I don't know. Maybe there's a downside to that. Walter is an absolute monster, and but it doesn't have to be Pete Dunne power slamming him and getting a 1-2-3. It could be a matter of getting disqualified at some kind of outside interference, or even just a count out, that sort of thing. And I think that could just getting to potential stories going forward. But if Pete Dunne is able to win, or at least not lose his championship, then that sets the stage for Walter to come even harder at him next time. And I think I would be a little bit more excited about that than Pete Dunne getting a rematch to win the championship back. Yeah, I think that would be the more exciting of the two things happening, because we're going to have another there's going to be another NXT TakeOver UK sometime soon, right? They've got to have one like in June or July. Split up the months. There's rumors that June 8th is going to be a takeover in just a regular NXT takeover in San Jose, California, without any other pay-per-view that weekend, which is kind of weird. They haven't done that before. Or at least not since they started blocking these takeovers along with big main roster pay-per-views. So it'd be interesting to see what happens there, and maybe we will get another NXT. That would make sense to have one every 6 months, because the first one was in January. To have the next one in June, that would make some sense, some good sense. Something like that. I don't know. We'll see what happens. Squid Scala. I want to draw him as a squid. Just draw him as. I'll just draw a blooper, but with that neat black haircut that he has. Yeah. Those are my predictions. That's my thoughts on this week's NXT and NXT UK. Let me know what you thought about all of that by tweeting me at TIW Podcast. Go to TIWpodcast.com for more reviews. If you enjoyed this episode or anything else on the site, please share some links with your friends. Subscribe on iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, YouTube, wherever you prefer to listen to these things. And I'll be back real soon with more TIW Podcast from New York, Brooklyn, New York. most of the episodes, all the episodes I'll be recording from there because I'll do them in my hotel room there. So stay tuned. That's like the next 5 episodes or so. I will do a WrestleMania predictions episode after TakeOver. So I'll do a TakeOver episode, and then on Saturday, I'm going to be at Access all day. I'll talk about what I saw go down there, who I got to meet, and all that kind of thing, and then do my WrestleMania predictions there. So that'll be part 5 of this week will be my WrestleMania predictions. So stay tuned for that. That's it. See you soon. Thanks for listening. This has been TIW Podcast. Bye.